The Scarlett Johansson versus Disney lawsuit just keeps on getting more insane by the day, it seems, because brand new reports courtesy of the big trades in Hollywood are saying that Disney is trying to sweep this under the rug and pretend like it's not even happening. So we have already talked about how Disney did not want everything to go public with Scarlett Johansson in regards to pretty much everything, the payday, what they were doing behind the scenes, the contracts and everything. But obviously Scarlett and her team decided, well, let's sue them. This will be done in a public light and we'll see what happens. Disney retaliated. Scarlett Johansson and her people retaliated back saying, oh wow, way to, highlight the problems within the industry by blaming a woman for not accepting her pay when you're doing the same thing with the men but giving them even more. So what has Disney done, because they've been silent since? Well, apparently they've gone behind the scenes to be like, hey, let's take this out from the public. Let's just work this out without throwing shades at one another. Let's not talk about this. Let's figure this out however we can, and we're not going to talk about this publicly anymore because bad. Now, of course, bad for Disney, not for Scarlett Johansson, who's had an outpour of support from people in Hollywood. But you get what Disney's trying to do. They realize that they caught themselves in their own problematic lie and example of what they were doing. And as it was stated, if this was Robert Downey Jr., this never would have made it this far. They never would have said, oh yeah, well, we paid Robert Downey Jr. $25 million, so he should be happy. No, they would have taken it straight behind the scenes, given him an even bigger cut of the money, and called it a day. Which, coincidentally enough, is exactly what they did with multiple appearances after his initial contract, which is why he ended up making like $50 to $100 million for every Avengers film after Age of Ultron. Again, we see what's going on here, and Scarlett's people, and her specifically, they have every right to point this out, being like, well, why is it okay to put me into the public spotlight and drag me through the mud and say, oh, I'm bad because I did this, when you literally broke contract. So yeah, this thing just keeps getting more and more interesting, and you understand why Disney's trying to sweep this under the rug and go, well, maybe we'll figure it out now, or we'll go back to talking, just don't talk about it. Well, if they don't talk about it, what happens then when a certain amount of time passes and she can't talk about it? See the problem here? Disney's trying to make her camp quiet, so hopefully it blows over. And then who knows if they'll honor what they still owe her. Very, very sketchy in a very corporate way.